If you like this podcast or the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It just goes to help fund the software and the hosting. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight's a bit of a special one in that it's not me talking to just some random guy or lass. It's about Fire Mission 2025. So this one's aimed at people who want to know about Fire Mission, the Glastonbury for Gunners, as I called it previously. And we're going to talk to the people who organise it, and that's the guys I've got on the screen at the moment. Hi guys, how are we all doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks.
Good, thank you.
Right, if I could just ask you for yourselves to give yourselves a little introduction. Don't all fight to go first though, and what your involvement in Fire Mission is. If you want to go
David,
first,
you want to go first?
No, Tom can go first because he's
okay.
first.
My name's Tom Hubbard. I'm one of the founder members of Fire Mission right from the start. I look after all the entertainment and everything side of things. My background within the artillery is I was a locator in 3-2 Regiment, 3-9 Regiment as well, 5-7 Battery, and then 4-3, then 18 Battery. That's basically me as involved in Fire Mission.
I'm David Proven. I'm ex-40 Regiment, artillery observer, predominantly 1-9 Battery, and a short period with 137 for it left, and then ended up my service with the UN forces in Cyprus for 3.5 years. The Fire Mission, we got involved in it ourselves after being involved with some sapper. I'll use the terms loosely, in Gunnerfest. I look after basically all the sort of event organisation, the legalities, the insurances, the accounts and the merchandise. That's about me.
Hi, Andy McLaughlin here. Second time on the podcast. You probably heard me the first time, so you'll understand you might need subtitles for radio when we're on here. So, ex-16 Regiment, Strathclyde Gunner, full career. And I joined after an invite to join the admin team, and I am logistics. That's my role.
So what's the history of Fire Mission then? How did it start?
Over to you, David.
If we go back to 2016, yeah. If we go back to 2016 first, a friend of mine got in touch with me and told me about the Sappers running Sapperfest.
He's disappeared. Hope he'll click back in again in a minute.
Okay, so carrying on from that, I can fill in bits from that anyway. Davey was approached in 2016. He was saying by a friend of his to help start up the Gunner contingent for Gunnerfest, which was a part of the Sapperfest thing. And then he used his contacts within that to help get Gunnerfest off the ground. That's basically what he did. So that's how Gunnerfest started. Basically, Davey pulled in all his Gunner contacts within that, and it started from there.
I mean, it was quite a small thing then, wasn't it? It wasn't as big and as organised.
It was their greatly attended function for gunners, but the ones that went were the same type, time and time again. So I can't remember what one I went to. Joined them first, Tom.
That's right. Yeah, I just dropped it.
I can't remember which one you first came to either. Davey, you're back, mate. I think I filled in for most of you there, mate.
That's normal, so don't worry about it. I get it all the time. Usually about my wallet not getting opened. But
No, don't worry about slagging you off while you went. Yeah, that's all right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I joined them,
a friend of mine put us in touch with the guys that ran Sapperfest. Now, it was good at the time because we started it and it was something new for us. But what we found over the years with them was we had no control over ticket prices, merchandise, bar prices, what entertainment was coming. They were providing for us because they were running it as a business. They might say otherwise, but we know they were running it as a business. We've seen all their accounts. And we just felt we had a break here because of, like we did with COVID for 2020. By 2021, we just felt we could do it ourselves, So we sat down, myself, Tom, the guy Tony Fielding and Mark Hansen, and then we brought Andy in as well. And the five of us decided we could go forward and do it ourselves in 2022 and form what we called Fire Mission. So it was the same sort of concept, a camping weekend with entertainment, but for serving and veteran gunners. And we just felt we could do it ourselves with our own control. We could set our own prices, decide what we want to do, allocate the jobs ourselves, and do it. Try and do it better. And that was the aspect of it. We all chucked in £500 each of our own money to get it off the ground, and we never want that back. We've never asked for it back, and we don't look to make any money off it. It's totally self-funding, and it's growing. It's growing entity. We have moved. We moved to Oldham at first for the first one on Saddleworth Moor. It was a bit windy, so we found this great field in Doncaster now. And Kelly Brough, the host, is fantastic, and she's very accommodating for us. And we've grown to such a state now that it costs us 5 figures now to put the event on. We're approaching about £12,000 this year just to stage the event. So we've got to recoup that sort of in ticket sales, and Andy found us a great corporate sponsor who's backed us to the hilt, BGB lift trucks from Hull. I mean, they've been fantastic to us. So they give us a little bit of financial support and some equipment support, Grimsby's one, yeah. Yeah,
Grimsby.
So, they
Grimsby.
Just that helps us. So as long as we break even each
Grimsby.
year and we've got that small contingency fund, Fire Mission will continue. What we found difficult at first is trying to break the mould, and you'll know yourself, Frankie, of people being really associated.
Talking about the location there, you said it moved from... Sorry.
I was just going to say, you'll know yourself, being ex-artillery, I'm away again. I'm away.
No, go on, carry on.
I'm away.
You've gone again.
What Davey's saying there is trying to break that mould where people leave and they go to their battery reunions and their regimental reunions, and they're there, but they don't see friends, colleagues who have moved on to the other way. Some of them are quite formal. Great, I still go to formal do's. When you want to sit down and have a dinner, this is anything but it. But it allows people just to be themselves. You know what I mean? You're here. The land we've got, the area we've got, I think you've seen the pictures. If anybody's going to the Fire Mission website, have a look at the pictures. I walked the field yesterday or last night, looked at it. We're here this weekend, and it's not a piss-up weekend. We've got work to do. Right, we've got some improvements to put in. Mark out the field. It's going to be marked out this weekend. The pitches are going to be put out. The stake areas are going to be staked. Because putting it together on the week, it takes a full week to put it together for the weekend, and 2 days to take it down and pack it away. So it's a commitment when you come on pre-advanced and advanced party. You're here for 14 days. We're almost getting this 12 days, getting it up and running. It's a long haul.
I can
to
imagine.
To get it up and running, because the bigger we get, the more resources we need, and that's been proven. I mean, we realised last year that we catered for the toilets. This year we've had to up the toilets because we cleaned them, but we realised, right, maybe another 2 or 3 and an extra clean, and that'll be us. We'll be spot on. But as numbers grow, so does the demand. So and central water taps this year, because we only had one water tap, so guys will want to fill their water. It's taking a wee bit too long, so we've got a Bowser this year, so we can have 4 taps on that. Simple things like that makes the camping experience a little bit better.
Talking about the location. I mean, David had mentioned then you moved from Saddleworth Moor and all that, and then moved it to Doncaster. So this is a working farm that we're going to attend to, and she's given us this area, and I've seen mention of the orchard, and like you call that's the permanent. That's never going to change that. Whereas the fields, the field is actually part of the farm, and it's used when we're not using it.
Yeah. obviously the field that Kelly's given us there, she rents the field out all year. So it's, during the year, there's a dog agility course goes on to it. So as a working farm, she's got her horses and that here. Not got any sheep now, the sheep have gone. She's got beehives here, so there's guys coming out with their honey. But the area is she's done a lot. Don't get me wrong, she's done a lot. The improvements that she's done to help us is phenomenal. I mean, you could, but again, the repaying of that is the lads that's here this weekend have got jobs to do, and that's payback if we can help upkeep the farm and keep her labour and her bills down. It reflects on what she does for us. She's just hard standing the whole top end there, Tom. Where we put the skips, that's all hard standing now, mate. So she's just put a lot of stone in there, and then the tarpaulins over the top and rolled it, so we don't have that mud area. It's looking well difference. Smart. Yeah, big difference. So that's where all the agility people don't take their cars onto the field now. But you're saying the orchard there, Frankie. Obviously, we've lost colleagues and we lost friends. And beforehand, we would remember them on one of the nights, like everybody else does, get the port out. So we planted the trees. We paid for the trees. We planted the trees. Set up a little fund for the orchard fund. And we got memorial stones made that have attended fire mission. So we just missed out with Thatcher's Cider. So Thatcher's Cider donate apple trees to good causes. So we made an application to Thatcher's to say, look, this is what we're doing. We're setting up an orchard. We're dedicating the trees to comrades that are no longer with us. They set up one tree, and then after that, they set us up there's somebody trying fire mission, Tom. After that, they sent us another 10 up. So they sent us another 10 trees up. So they've been planted, and they're blooming now. They're up and running, and they're blooming well. So, you never want to say we're going to be putting another 10 stones down, but eventually we will.
No, yeah, I mean, we're all getting older.
So them trees that we're putting together, or the area we're putting together, it really is starting to look really nice. This year, I know we have families of the members who the trees are dedicated are turning up to our Sunday service. It's not a religious service by any means. There's nothing religious about it. So we all go up there and we have a poignant moment where we're silent. Some words are said. We've got a humanist, one of the lads,
celebrant in the team.
Yeah, who's certified. So he does the service for us, and it just allows people to reflect. For that moment, we're there, and it allows. We had a visitors last year. We had civilians attend. Just want to know what he's doing on a Sunday, or they're having a semi. You can call it church parade if you want.
Haven't we got the mayor?
Mayor's
mayor of Doncaster.
Mayor of Doncaster's coming this year. The dignitaries for Doncaster Council, the veteran member who looks after
the Doncaster Armed Forces liaison veterans, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So they're attending. So some of the members that go to fire mission have been warned. Keep your clothes on. Don't turn up drunk. and, and don't abuse them when they're there. So I can't vouch we'll manage to get somebody to do all three, but I'm guaranteed we might have one or two. So just
I'd imagine it'll only be good. I'd imagine it. Well,
it's quite good last year, and enjoyed it last year where we done a little parade. We've got a piper. He piped round the campsite as we were walking round the campsite. Everybody just went to the back, fell at the back. Quite good to see 120 old codgers fucking stumbling up a track.
I actually filmed.
Some
Take a
are
bit longer
carried.
than normal.
I
Well,
actually
take that
filmed
back.
it. Yeah, oh, Davey. I actually filmed it. I was waiting at the top of the hill, in traffic coming in and all that sort of stuff, and waiting with a few people at the top, and I actually filmed it as people came up the hill with the pipes leading everybody. Yeah, it was emotional. It was really emotional, and actually, what the lady from Doncaster Council, she actually stood there and went, "Wow, that was very difficult. It was really difficult to fight back the tears," and people were, very emotional, and it, but it's a good way to reflect, because some of the people that are mentioned up there, we've actually sort of like sat there, spoken to, chatted to, and lost. You know what I mean? Which is a different story in itself. And I'm sure we'll get round to that later on.
I mean, that leads me on to another question, a quick one. Andy, you mentioned there, like last year there was like 160 people there. Are we looking at more numbers this year up to now?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll ask them. I mean, I'm going this time.
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is got a lot of newbies, a lot of new faces coming in here. So I'm waiting for Matthew Kelly jumping in a moment, going, and tonight, Matthew, you're going to be here. They come. No, but there's that buzz, because it only takes one person to come, enjoy it. He tells his mate. He comes. He tells his mate, and it's snowballed through that. And the biggest thing was, you seen the RHA lads. You've got to give them a shout out. They turned up the first year. There was 5 of them. I think last year, what did they have, 20 odd?
Yeah.
Yeah. So massive, percentage wise, what they've done. And I know they're getting bigger this year. To come in, and it shows that just what the harbour areas are doing to improve their what the harbour area entertainment can give for their own guys while they're there, how they look after it. So there's something different this year that we're planning, and that's a strip. So instead of the admin areas being at the back,
Right, I thought you meant.
No. You'll see. There's guys just walk around the strip anyway, naked. So a pair of Wellingtons and a traffic cone. So, but that's a different story.
I mean, before we go on to that, before you go further onto that, what you're planning, I mean, the harbour areas. If somebody's not knowledgeable and hasn't been keeping up to date on what fire mission is and what happens there, can you just explain what the harbour areas are to newbies?
Well, let's go to a previous winner, Davey.
If he could stay online.
I've changed my phone now because my laptop kept dropping off. So hopefully you've got some splicing to do with when I've been speaking. So a harbour area, basically, each regiment or battery, like 10 battery, the air defence battery, have their own area. You set up your own with your own mates and that from your own unit. And what we try and do in each there is we all set up a sort of communal area, sort of bar or a little cookhouse, and generally around a fire pit and that, where everybody can come along and join you for a pint, and a waffle and a bit of banter. But each year now the harbour areas are trying to outdo each other. So they're building bars, they're getting lights on, they're putting music on, they're bringing signs saying the gunner in, they're bringing missiles. One year we had a bloody motorbike there, so it's just, for me, it's just your own communal area, but it's not just for you, it's for everybody, and everybody comes and enjoys. It's just a little bit of regimental pride where you fly your own flags. You can talk shite about the days you were in, but then when somebody comes along, you host them. So you feed and water them, you look after them. We've had some great nights in each other's harbour areas. If there's anybody who thinks they don't know anybody there, I mean, going away back to the first Gunner Fest, I mean, the very first Gunner Fest, 2016, 71 guys turned up, and I only knew 13, but by the end of it, I knew them all. Because you went round everybody's little area, you shared a pint with them, listened to their stories and said, I'll see you next year, and you sort of build that sort of friendship up and repertoire with them. So the harbour areas themselves, a bit of regimental pride, trying to outdo each other and set it out, and it is your own little communal area, but it's very sociable. And then all we ask at night is Tom does a great job putting the entertainment on and getting his bands and things. We all go in there at night and, and get together, and that's when the banter flows, because sometimes the banter is, it's like going back to when you were 18 or 20 again, The banter is second to none, especially between the bunnies and the air defenders,
I love the banter.
I love the banter,
I love the banter.
But
I'm trying to explain it to people, and the way to the guys who, because don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of guys out there who've not heard of it, and I try to push it as much as I can when I'm talking to lads who I served with and stuff like that. And when I was the more you go on this year, they went, "Oh, well, no." Imagine it as a big battery smoker.
That's right.
That's the way I liken it in my head.
So basically, it is each harbour area is like I just said. It's like a 150-metre pub crawl. You know what I mean? You go to each harbour area, you have a few beers, you'll get fed a bacon butty, egg banjo, whatever. You go on to the next one, and you'll have the same again, and then the next one, and the same again. But they're all open and welcome to everybody. Doesn't air defenders go to the gun bunnies, locators go. Everyone walks around each other's harbour area. There's a fire on. There's food cooking. There's tinnies or a beer pump. You know what I mean? That they've set up themselves. No money crosses the table for anything. Just go along, help yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what it is.
Going back to you, Andy. You said there was something new planned for this year.
Yeah, that's a strip. You find that some of the people put their harbour areas at the back of in the camp in front of it. This year we're bringing all the harbour areas in the middle, so they're all on the road and the camping's behind. That means that they're open. You want people to walk around that hollow square and be able to just go for, harbour area to harbour area. It's like you say, I'll walk into ours, I'll put my case in, put it on the bar and say, buy case. I won't see that again. But the time I walk around everybody else's bar, I've probably drunk about 2 cases. So you go back to yours and there's none left, you go, all right, it's gone. But that's how it is. You go for a wander. Sometimes you end up in somebody else's tent, you push their sleeping bag, then you move on to another area. So that's...
You do. It's not the norm, Andy. You do. But what I was saying before, Frank, before I was cut off, was, yourself with serving the artillery, is you get very sort of regimentalised into only going to battery functions or regimental functions, and you get set down that line, and that's what we're trying to break the mould, that this is for all gunners. It's not just one regiment. Yeah, fine, go to your regiments, or your battery do as well, but this is everybody. And it's amazing when you go and you speak to people. I mean, like, I'd never met Andy until Gunnerfest Fire Mission, Tom I've served with. But you get to speak to people and they know people and they were on exercises or deployments at the same time as you. So that camaraderie is there. If people are worried about coming and thinking, oh, where will I fit in or whose harbour area that is, you'll fit into any harbour area. We make everybody welcome. It doesn't matter if you're serving, former, no rank or reservist. It doesn't matter. I mean, 3-2 pride themselves, calling themselves the Waifs and Strays. They take everybody. Anybody that finds they've not got a harbour area, they're welcome to join 3-2 or any other one that they want to join. But again, like Tom says, there's no rank or anything. There's guys there who've served, and I don't even know what rank they finished at. And I'm not worried. I don't care. We're all gunners.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. We all leave the army the same rank, Mister.
Right. Yeah. Mister. Yeah.
It doesn't matter, does it?
And there's no need.
I'm not talking to that. So sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I'm going to get a shout out. To our reservists who have started to come. So where we say it's open to serving soldiers and veterans, but the reservists are starting to come now as well, and that's making a big difference. I mean, to see, because these guys have done operational tours. They've joined the regiments, went out. So there's absolutely no difference. And we are now also starting to get a good bit of support from our female colleagues who are now starting to come up with it. So it's good to see that we're there. So we pride ourselves on being, that's a bad word to use, we're diverse, right? We're diverse.
Yeah, we've got
Right.
reservists coming from 105 Regiment this year, 209 Battery, 205 Battery at the moment that I know of. So, it's something to all gunners. It doesn't matter what just that. Obviously, with them being stabs, we take the piss at them, like, but it's
that's the law.
natural. That's the law. Yeah.
I mean, do you get many like? I mean, obviously we were all non-commissioned. I mean, do you get many commissioned veterans?
Yeah.
Coming?
Yeah, we've had 2 or 3 there, and again, there's my best pal, right? So yeah, we've had them there. Not last year. I think we only had 2, but we've had some well-appointed members there, and they've actually written to individuals at a place where it's a white corridor to say why are these not getting support. So that's how. So the powers to be know that it goes on.
Yeah, they've probably got fucking stay away from that.
It's when you used to get the young officer and young gunner. Every regiment you had to send the young officer and send the junior gunner. That's what, they'd be more than welcome to come. Absolutely more than welcome if a regiment had to send their junior officer and their junior soldier to the event to see what the old ones got up to. I'm not guaranteed they get back.
Yeah.
But
in one place, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
especially the young officers.
That'd be. Listen,
that's that's a really, really good idea. Because it advertises in the regiments as well what's happening. I mean, let's face it, there's not many fucking regiments left, is there? So
yeah, I know. It's just unfortunate because we have had a few. We do get a few regulars coming, but they find just the pace of life. Sometimes they can't plan that far in advance, or you know yourself. It gets thrown last minute. Plans get thrown in the air, so a lot of them don't commit till the last minute. And if they are coming, we accept paying the gate. We just charge the same to paying the gate as we do if you buy a ticket in advance. But buying a ticket in advance, it allows the Mark's there. It allows us and Mark to see how many tickets we've sold, and we can plan, financially what we're going to do in advance and pay for things, So we do get a few pay in the gates, so people, especially at work as well, in City Street. Last minute they'll pay at the gate and come for the weekend or just for one night. They can come for one night if they want.
That's what I was going to ask next. So I mean, I've paid for the whole weekend. I don't even know if I'm going to make it on the Friday night. I hope I am, but I mean, to think of everyone walking around in shit shirts on Friday night and half naked. Yeah. But so just to let other people know who don't know the criteria of it, if somebody wants to rock up just for the day, that's quite welcome. And just rock up and pay for the day.
Yeah.
Mark the man. Mark's just joined us online, so Mark's our ticket guru, so he'll let you know about that.
So £20 for the day, £40 for 2 days, 58 for 3. Every time period adds a different wristband. If you want to extend. You just come and find me. Just say I want to stay an extra night. We charge you the difference. We don't make any money for this. This is the best thing about it. Other groups like to whack up the prices. We don't. We keep it bare minimum so that we give the best value for money to the lads. And it's all about, as they've probably said before, it's all about gun.
Forrest, yours has stopped.
Where it's got a bit.
I think it might be your internet, to be honest. You just have to crack on.
I can do it for the deaf people.
You're back again, right? Okay. Before we also go technically down here. So
yeah. We also cater for the vertically challenged and the extremely tall. We are, Tom identifies as trans tall.
Here we go.
Oh, there you are, Tom.
Here we go.
You are. There's the Hobbit.
It didn't even last 5 fucking minutes, did it?
It's been quite sensible until he joined, wasn't
it? Yeah.
So, I mean, the next question is, what can people expect of the weekend? Going from the Friday night, what time can it turn up on a Friday? All the way through to when we have to leave. Is it the Sunday night? Is it the Monday morning? Or what?
Yeah. Friendship. That's the biggest thing you'll find. Friendship. Doesn't matter if you turn up and you're the only one from your regiment, your battery. you will be catered for, you will be embraced, and you will leave with more friends than you arrive with. And that's how it is.
Bread, then.
You'll also get an invite to Fire Mission 26. You'll leave. You'll
Yeah,
leave
Basically, Frankie, we like to be set up and open the gates for Friday at noon on Friday, and it runs basically till noon on the Monday. But we do on our Fire Mission Facebook page, if people want to join it, gunners want to join it, we do. Probably after this weekend, we're done with admin weekend. Mark will put out sort of information for an advanced party to come and help us. So they generally turn up on the Wednesday before, and we spend 2 days building the marquee, the site, putting all the markers out, flags up, all that sort of stuff. And then on the Monday when we finish, we usually look for a rear party as well to stay for at least the Monday and into the Tuesday maybe, to take everything down again. So 12 o'clock on the Friday, we ask people, if you're only coming for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to turn up then. But if you're part of the advanced party, then you will get instructions to come a wee bit earlier to help us set up. And you basically come in on the advanced party, drop your car off, come and help us put the marquee and everything up, and then when we stop work about 4 o'clock, because that's beer o'clock, you then go and set your own harbour area up after that. So, there's plenty of time to set your harbour area up. So, and that's
so what is the criteria? What's happening over the weekend? Have we got things planned out for that, or is it just turn up, get drunk?
Entertainment Guru.
Okay, right. So there's no set format. You can either turn up to what's going on in the marquee or not. So we have live music on every night. Friday night there'll be a couple of bands, and a shit shirt competition. You know what I mean? Saturday, pretty much chilled out until the afternoon. There may be some light music on in the afternoon for people who are covering from Friday night, and then we hit it again on the Friday night with a couple of bands. But this Friday night, our headliner is a band called Atomic, and they are an 80s tribute act, and they'll be doing 2 hours set on in the evening. In that, we're going to have an 80s theme fancy dress competition, and the winner of that will win a Fire Mission 26 ticket. And then on to Sunday, we'll obviously, I think it's 11 o'clock. We're having the parade at the Orchard.
Yeah.
All time is to be confirmed. Then after that, we've got a nice and chilled afternoon with a couple of acoustic sets into the evening. And then it's chill out.
By acoustic sets and Sunday afternoon, is that car share karaoke?
He likes karaoke, doesn't he?
Yeah. So as requested by Andy there, we're having karaoke as well.
Right, so mental note, leave about 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah. No, he's actually quite good. He knows karaoke, you know what I mean? But no, Andy's quite good.
Yeah, we've got this year. We've got to implement this year on the Sunday that nobody leaves before noon. Basically because 11 o'clock we want to have our service up at the Orchard. And the Mayor of Doncaster and everything's coming as well. And the Armed Forces Coordinator and the Armed Forces sort of councillor, I would say, for Doncaster Council, they're coming to see what we do. So the Doncaster Council have been great. They're fine when we put our events notices in. They're providing all our recycling bins this year as well for free to help us out. So we want to put a good impression on for them. So we'll ask guys on the Sunday not to leave before midday or take their tents down before midday, just for that, so we can have the service at the Orchard. But other than that, like Tom just said, there's no set format. So if you want to stay in your maggot till noon, you can stay in your maggot till noon. If nobody forces you out, if you feel you've had enough, you've had a few beers and you want to go to bed, you go to bed. Nobody forces you to stay up and party or do what you don't want to do. Ten Battery last year won the best harbour area, so they'll do some field games on the Saturday. So no doubt they'll involve alcohol on the Saturday afternoon. And that's it really. It's just a giant battery smoker, but there's no set format other than Tom's timings for the entertainment that he's booked.
I know there's one thing that was mentioned on the Facebook page a couple of weeks back, and that was about bringing extra stuff for the food banks and also the charities that you're involved in. Can you just explain about that and how that works and what to bring, basically?
Well, it's for I forgot against the bread line now. It's the last line against the bread line. It's a community food bank in Doncaster, and basically they have 4 food banks in Doncaster. So what we ask the guys to do is, if they start their shopping now, just stick an extra 20 pence dinner soup or whatever you find. Whatever if it doesn't have to be expensive, but they're looking for food. They're looking for baby stuff. They're looking for cleaning items, pet food. Anything like that just helps people ease with the cost of living. So they've got 4 food banks now that they've set up in the last sort of 4 or 5 years in Doncaster. So there's obviously a need for it out there. And as Andy said before in his previous podcast, it's all about us giving back to the community as well that host us. They host us really well, so we want to give something back. So again, we'll be posting that again, just asking the guys and girls. Last year, if you remember the big track cages, the metal track cages that you had on the gun park, that all your track pads and that came in, we filled 2 of them with food last year to hand to them. And that was the biggest ever single donation of food that they'd had since they started. Even though the supermarkets not give them food every day, that was the biggest ever single donation, to help them out. So it's all about giving back to the community. As Andy alluded to in his previous podcast as well, we jump on their doorstep and make a lot of noise for 48 hours, 72 hours, so it's nice to give them something back as well.
I mean, there was mentioned last year that I can't even say the bloody word, hang on. Defibrillator. I can't even say it. Somebody say it for me. So is the future more plans for stuff like that as well?
What the 2
if the opportunity
defibs,
arrives.
if it's needed. But so I said that last year we could actually, and it's from there, the defib that we put at the kindergarten, or the nursery that were on there, was actually used. So it has been used. It has saved a life. So it has saved a life. So if we hadn't have put that there, or no, in memory of Tony or Hendel's passing has basically saved a life. So no matter what you do, you can't put a cost on that.
No, I mean last year, over the year last year, we raised 5,900. Which we've split between gunner charities, homeless veterans, the nursery, the food bank, and various other smaller charities, like people doing sponsored walks, gunners doing sponsored walks, and that. It's all about, like Andy says, raising money and trying to help out. And we'll raise the money. If guys come forward with a good cause, we try and target gunners first. And if somebody comes, we've got an idea of one that's come up this year that we're going to talk about this weekend. So that if somebody brings that forward, we look into it. We look into the validity of it. We look into, is it kosher, sort of thing, Because no whole bars. I've got our fingers burnt once by somebody raising money, who wasn't raising, the money wasn't all going to where it should have. We just like to look into it and make sure it's all going to the right places,
There's some twats out there.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
It was another gunner as well, and that's what made it worse. I'll not join him on Facebook because he took us for a wee bit of a ride. So
yeah. I mean, talking of like raising money and stuff like that. Something else that people might not be aware of, I mean, should do if they joined the Facebook page, is the merchandise that you have.
Andy's wearing his top. Yeah, Tom does like.
I thought he was having a fucking heart attack or something.
Tom does like the glasses, and he's got a friend who does all our polo shirts and we're hoodies and hats and things. And then we've got a guy, Tel Cooper from 10 Battery, who does all the sort of badges and cups and merchandise. And then I take all the rugby shirts. We've got a good rapport with the Wear Badger Rugby. They're now called Linear Sports, who will design any shirt for us. So we just fire them in an idea, and they said as long as they're happy to do it as long as they sell 6 or 8 of each shirt. It makes it worthwhile for them. So we've started now going down to battery level. So I've done battery level ones. I've had a couple of more guys contact me, ask for their battery shirts. Again, we only make a small profit on them. It's very minimal. I've had a few whinges about the postage going up to £6.20, but hey, that's the Royal Mail for you. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the supplier sets at £6.20. There's nothing we can do about that. But so we try and keep the shirts at a minimum. So we just make a little bit off it. We basically make enough to pay we're live music licensed a year off the shops, you know. So it's
If
just
you're
another
tight
thing
and you
ticked off.
want to, if you're tight and you want to save the £6 postage, turn up to Fire Mission, and we'll give you it when you arrive.
Aye.
Then you've saved £6, and that's £6 off your £58 ticket. Oh, your ticket's only costing you £52 because you've saved £6 in postage.
I don't think that adds up somehow, and
That's handy
It
logic.
does. Logistics, mate. It does add up.
Right, I'm going to sit back now and let you argue.
So, Tom, are you wearing platforms this year?
Yes.
Right. So,
Yes.
I've already told
Designer
Jerry.
bait meetings.
What
I've
the point,
already
Andy?
told you.
What the point, Andy? You
Jerry-
wearing clothes?
Optional.
Did he come as one? If one of the fancy dresses, he came as a is it Peppa Pig?
Dinosaur,
Peppa Pig.
Batman.
Yeah, and
Batman.
they dressed me up as Olaf the Snowman.
And then I made a fight.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin last year. So we don't know what we're going to be this year.
Normal.
Frankie,
No,
when
you
he came-
can't. 80s. It has to be 80s. It has to be 80s.
Frankie,
Yeah,
when he
Go
came-
go through your wardrobe.
We were thinking about Bros. Me and Tammy a quiff.
when he came
I
as
know
when he
nothing.
came as Pepper Pig, Frankie, we had laid on a hog roast for the guys. So we
God.
laid on a hog roast for the afternoon. He went away, got his Pepper Pig outfit on, and he came in and he shouts, "Mum, you bastards! What have you done to us? You killed my mother." It was just hilarious to be there, you know, that the hog roast was on at the time and he was Pepper Pig. Just an idiot.
Yeah.
It's
Even
certainly.
the chef was a bit taken aback.
Nah, the chef didn't know what to make of it. The Sibby chefs that we had in didn't know what to make of it.
The one thing is, one thing I will say about Fire Mission is, even if you just come the once, it's gonna leave memories lasting for a lifetime for the people that you meet, and once you
memories.
leave it. Some of it, yeah. But no, you see, for me, when I first started this with these guys, I never ever thought that it would lead me to the things that I've done. You know what I mean? And the people I've met. You know, and I'll go back to Dane when we did that search in February last year. Wow, I never ever thought that I'd be involved in something like that, and something so humbling. You know, is obviously Dane went missing the day before Remembrance Sunday on the 10th of November, the year before, and we found him in the February last year. Obviously, he'd passed, but being part of that. And seeing how we, never mind the community up in Scotland, but how Fire Mission community came together and did that, it was just awe-inspiring. I've never ever seen or felt anything like that before in my life. And to be honest, I don't want to because of the circumstances around it. But it was amazing. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'll say this on here. That goes down to Davey. Davey put all that together, and you know what I mean. But if it wasn't for Fire Mission, I don't think it would have had the resources to do it.
Yeah, Dane was a lifelong friend of mine. Dave and I, you know, Dane, I've known Dane since he joined the regiment, late 80s. So I felt I had to do something. It started off with just 12, 15 guys for Fire Mission. I put it on the Fire Mission page. We'll all meet up, you know, we'll have a ramble and, you know, see what we can do. And it just snowballed. It snowballed. The support that came from not just the Fire Mission community, but the veterans community in general. Yeah, you know, we ended up with like 150 boots on the ground. We ended up with 3 drone teams, a light aircraft, 2 underwater search teams, 9 search dogs, you know, and 150 people on a weekend. The landowner, Peter, was fantastic. He used ex-Grenadier Guards, CO, you know, he owned the estate, and he gave us the village hall to stay in for the weekend so we could coordinate it all. And John Norfolk as well, another pal of mine. John was ex-search and rescue, so I said to John, this is getting out of hand. We're happy doing the logistics, but we haven't got the noggin for a full-blown search like this, you know. This is, because it was in the eyes of the press, all the Scottish media were there and everything, you know. And the police just wouldn't help us. The police, they backed our search, but they wouldn't give us any information. They wouldn't even tell us where they searched, because they said it wasn't a police authorised search. So they couldn't give us any information on what they had done, which was terrible, because we were going over ground that they had searched maybe 3-4 times then when we could have concentrated elsewhere. But like we say, they had 3 months to do it. We done it in 48 hours, and the boys brought them home. Suitably, it was one of the boys from his own battery that found them, So it brought some closure to Lynette, his wife, and the rest of the wider family. But like Tom says, it was just one of those humbling minutes that I think it galvanised Fire Mission. Everybody that was on that page and that was just so either proud to be a part of it or proud to have supported it by sharing the search on their own pages and everything. It really galvanised us, and that's when Andy came up with the idea, like for the Gunner Orchard. We just felt we had to do something to remember our own, because we're not getting any younger and time goes by, so you don't want to forget your pals. And the Gunner Orchards is fantastic. I mean, we've got 21 trees planted there at the minute. So we initially bought 10 trees and commemorated 9 last year. And then we've got 2 to do this year so far. Fingers crossed that's all we've got to do. So Thatcher's Cider have a charity foundation.
Yeah, Andy was telling us about that earlier.
They sent a tree up.
When you decided to ignore us all.
Yeah, well, they sent a tree up to make it 11, so we've got the 11. We had the 11 planted, and they've now just sent up the other 10. So we'll have 10 spare trees at the minute. So we've got room to grow in time, and do other things there. But they've been fantastic. Their email as well. I got an email off Sarah at Thatcher saying, "Would it be all right if we send up your army event some cider?" And I was like, "You're asking ex-soldiers if they want any alcohol,
Kept that quiet.
So yeah, so
he's already told me, Tom, and I've got 4 Arctics.
They're already there.
Yeah, I know.
I've just emailed her a month before, and they're going to get that sent up to some. So that's nice from them as well. Some merchandise and some cider as well. So, but like Tom says, that has been the standout event for Fire Mission so far. Yeah, we all laugh, we joke, and we have a great time and fall about, and the buzz is there for the following year. That search last sort of end of January, beginning of February, just galvanised everybody. Really, really did. And it brought us all closer together. It really did bring us all closer together.
Massively.
Yeah, because, with guys there, I've no brother. I shed a tear when we was found. It was hard, and to that end now, Tom's been away and done mentorship for mental health and that as well. Now we bring Andy's man club to the event, so guys, if they want a little quiet
I was
moment,
going to ask about that as well. I was going to say,
Tom knows all about that sort of stuff.
Well, obviously with what I've been doing over the last year with the podcast, and as you've probably heard on the 1 or 2 that you've listened to, always mental health gets mentioned, and it is a big thing, especially in the veteran community, and where we should encourage people to talk. And then when you're saying that they're bringing Andy's man club to Fire Mission is great. I'd encourage everyone to talk because it helped. I mean, me and you spoke the other night, Tom. It helped me massively. So if we can get people who are there to talk as well.
I can't emphasise enough how not just men. Obviously, being in the military, we were in the military at the time where it was predominantly men, but obviously women started to filter through. But obviously, men's mental health is a big thing. I don't think it's talked about enough, and there's still too much stigma about it. You know what I mean? As I said, I am part of Andy's Man Club. I'm now a facilitator for Coventry as well. And I think in the future there might be more clubs opening up and around the Coventry area. They're a nationwide organised charitable organisation, and they're getting bigger by the week. You know what I mean? I can't speak highly enough of Andy's Man Club and other mental health charities. It's such a big thing. You know what I mean? You've got to talk. got to talk. I don't think there's any one person on here apart from yourself, but like Mark, Davey, Andy, and a few others. We get together. We talk about things. And, you know, I'll speak to Mark and anybody, and the first thing we say is, "You're right." You know what I mean? How's things? You know what I mean? And that's the way it starts, a conversation. And also, when you're at a fire mission and you haven't seen somebody for a long time, you know, and whatnot, there's none of this shaking hands or anything like that. Everyone's met with a massive hug. You know what I mean? And how are you, mate? How are you? You know what I mean? And as the weekend goes across, you'll get people that will open up and talk about things. You know what I mean? You remember when this happened? And it just, you know, gets it off the chest. And also, they can talk how they want. Because us being in the military, we have got a different language to everybody else. You know what I mean? We talk about things very differently. And use different language and whatnot. You know, a lot of people, a lot of civvies I know, don't. You know, Mark will take the piss out of me. Everyone takes the piss out of me for being a short ass and all that sort of stuff. I don't mind it. You know what I mean? But anywhere else, people go, "Oh, I can't believe he just said that to you." That's all right.
That's
you know what I
only
mean?
having to walk.
You know what I mean? But that's it. That for me is, you know, they can say what they want to say. I can say what I want to say. Everybody can talk and all that sort of stuff. And it's a reset for everyone. They might not have the access to or want the access to help with mental health and all that sort of stuff. But this fire mission is definitely a doorway or a step in the right direction. Just coming along, seeing your mates, having a chat. There may be something that they might tell somebody that they've never ever spoken about to anybody before.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll go, "Oh, remember that thing when we happened?" Oh, yeah. Oh, have you ever mentioned it before? No, not really. I've sort of like kept it to myself. It's happened. It's happened to me at fire mission, and it's happened to me since as well. You know what I mean? I've spoken to Mark about things. You know what I mean?
You know what? Sorry. One thing I will say is, in the last couple of months, the Royal Artillery as an establishment has taken a massive kicking because people don't talk. A young girl took her own life because people didn't talk. And if we can bring one thing back to what the regiment was when I joined and you guys joined, was we are a family. I'm ashamed to say that people in our regiment have let us down massively because they couldn't talk to someone and they abused their position. So the story with Dane, like I've said, if I'm talking to the association now, if I can get the story of Dane out there, it's another step to getting back the reputation that we rightly deserve. And, you know, if we can attract more women to come along and talk, and, you know, Andy's Man Club, brilliant. But we need to know that we are a family. We didn't join with women. Women joined us, and they've been most welcome, and they have contributed to the regiment in massive ways. So if Fire Mission can just grab back a little bit of our respect, a little bit of our dignity, where we can hold our heads up high again, because to see a young girl take her life, I think Larkhill. I'm not sure, Tom. I think there's been 6 suicides in Larkhill since 2011.
Something like that. Some of them I know. Some of them I've known.
That is an horrendous state for a regiment to be in. That is the home of the artillery. So Fire Mission could be that little place where they come, they can sit down and say, "Do you know what? This is what we are. We are a family."
I don't
know.
Need to be that. I don't know stats and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think it's just within the artillery. I think it's across the military wide. You know what I mean? I've heard of another one today. You know what I mean? Not necessarily military, but police. You know what I mean? There's just not enough support out there for people that are suffering and struggling with every day-to-day problems. There isn't, and you have to. The worst thing about it is you have to help yourself. You know what I mean? And if you don't know where to look, you're just going to come. The doors are going to be shut to you every single time.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say, if you come to fire mission and you didn't need therapy, you will do when you leave.
Yeah, that's true as well.
It's the type of therapy that you need to come back to finish.
Yeah, as I said, and we've had team members who have came and they've actually turned around and says it's probably the best thing that's happened to them since they've actually got out, because they forgot they had a family.
But yeah,
and they've just come back to their family. So
we try,
you don't know.
We try and be all inclusive as well. You know, if there is somebody struggling and they do reach out, we keep it totally confidential between us. So if they reach out to one of the admins here, then say it was Tom or Andy or myself, we would then get in touch with Mark, and Mark would contact that person, because Mark's our ticket guru. So if that person's needing a wee bit of financial help or a ticket, then Mark sorts all that, and nobody else needs to know. Nobody else needs to know. We just want them to be included. We don't want them to feel excluded. So if they need that little bit of financial help to come, or they need a ticket, or they need a sleeping bag, you know, Mark sorts all that out between Mark and whoever it is.
And we will give them a few spends, so they are. There's nothing better than going to the bar when we had a bar, or going to a supermarket and buying a crate of beer and saying, "Lads, I've got a crate of beer in." That is such a massive boost to someone who's financially struggling, and we will do it. And like I said, I'm the only one who knows. So Andy, Dave, Tom, you're safe, but it's good.
Yeah, I mean, what we've done was
talking about that. Are you having a bar this year, or is that no?
No, we decided not to go down that route because it's the licensing and what it involves. If everybody just has there's no, as you said, there's no any harbour you can. There's no come in, you get a raffle ticket, and you can go get a beer. No. It's literally, if you come in, you walk into any bar and you'll say, "How you doing, lads? What are you drinking?" "Oh, can I have a Pepsi?" You'll get a Pepsi. Or can I have a Jack Daniels? You'll get a Jack Daniels. Drink that and go, "Right, I'm away." Go to the next bar. But while you're doing that, somebody's in your bar doing that with your drink. So, and it's just.
I'm going to have to stock up, aren't I?
Yeah. There's a Morrison's nearby.
Well, you see this right little bongo go backwards and forwards. That sounded bad, that. My little bongo going backwards and forwards.
It's Morrison's are on standby again because they got hammered last year.
Yeah.
Literally, they got hammered. There were trolley loads coming out there, and that. Why? 10 o'clock in the morning.
You're going round Morrison's and you go into the beer aisle and there's half a fire machine in there. You're all right, yes.
But like Mark said there, you know, we help them out to attend the event. When we had a bar, we done a sort of beer token thing. So Mark gave them some actual printed little tokens. They gave them the barman, and he gave them the 6 pints or whatever or 6 drinks, whatever he wanted. And only then Mark, the guy who had the tokens, and the barman knew. Nobody else knew. If you get me. So we keep it totally confidential. If somebody's struggling a wee bit, please reach out. We don't want to exclude you. And if you feel it will help you, then please come and join us. That's what it's all about. It's not, for us, it's not about making money or a profit. Okay, we need to keep enough money in the bank to run next year's event, but it's not about us suddenly going out and buying camper vans and everything like that. You know, we're not OSMP members. It's about running an event for the guys and girls. And the 5 of us that are now admin team, a couple have dropped out just through work things and that. So the 5 of us that are running it, we get that gratification out of it, knowing that you're having a good event and we're running it next year again, you know. And
but that's not to say. Hold on, that's not to say that anyone who feels that they want to step up and put themselves forward to become an admin, then this is not a monopoly. This is not the mafioso, because we're quite happy for young blood to come in here, and if they can bring something to the party and they want to take on some responsibility, please feel free. Come up and speak to Davey, because he's the chairman and he's in the SNP, and
and I've got a camper van.
And he's got a camper van. So we're in here. So as I said, we're encouraging. It's encouraging people to come in. One thing is good is the camaraderie is out with within. Is guys want to have cooking competitions. Who can cook the best food? And you're like, well, I don't eat anyway on the weekend, so that's irrelevant. But there's guys actually cooking meals, and they're getting judged on how they cook. Fucking crazy.
So who is it that got the first number 5 cook set?
That was
Was
us.
it you, Andy?
That was the
Yeah.
air defence area.
Air defence got the first number 5 cook set at Fire Mission. There are now more number 5 cook sets than Bicester have got at DLO, whatever it is, that the RLC have got. They're all at Fire Mission. Every harbour area's got one.
Or at least two.
I mean,
We've got two. Aye.
We've got
oh,
two.
you've got 2.
We've got
Oh,
two.
sorry.
We've got two ovens, and a
Going
bucket
to-
boiler.
Going to local blacksmiths and asking if they can make them a hot plate to go over the top of it, and all this sort of stuff. It just gets every year. It just gets bigger and better and more ridiculous. You see who can outdo each other on different things. You know what I mean? And it's amazing.
We've got
And this-
electrics again this year, aye.
Uh,
Bar, stuff like that, like just stupid things. It's just a laugh and a good weekend, you know.
the
I
first
mean, it
one.
sounds. Sorry, I mean, I just wanted to say it sounds like the people who've been, to the past events, it's galvanised them into not a club but a group who want to return, who want to come back. Do you find that people who do rock up do return? Is there a good retention?
Well,
Yeah,
Mark's the man for that. Mark knows what
Our biggest problem is people have the mindset that the old battery reunions, the old regiment reunions are the way things should be run. And we have none of that. So you could be a brigadier general, you rock up, it's all right, mate. There's none of this palaver. You sleep, you rough, you enjoy it. And once they get past that, or they give us a shout, a chance, they literally go, right, what's the dates for the next one? What's the dates for the next one? So after Fire Mission, we sit down, we have a little talk with Kelly, the landowner. We see what dates we can do, and then we put it out there. And then you see people going, when the ticket's available, what's the price going to be? So we all discuss that and keep it down. Now, like everything, ticket prices have to go up, sometimes. But if we can keep them the same level, we will keep them the same level. And if that means, for the first Fire Mission, I don't know if the guys have told you, the first Fire Mission we put in, we each put £50 of our own money in each month to get it, so we didn't have to whack the guys hard on the first one. That's how in depth we are with it. It's I'd say it's 9 months of the year. We plan it, we have talks, we message, we sort things out. Tom struggles to get the bands I want, but that's understandable. I like female singers, not my problem. But he puts on the best show he can with the budget we can give him. We'd love to be able to turn around and say, we sold 300 tickets. Tom, here's 5-6 grand. Go and get someone. We'd love to do that, but we need the support. But the support needs to come from people who have attended, grabbing hold of their old mates from their old Facebook pages, phoning someone up, going, like Tom said, reach out. You all right, mate? Let's join up at Fire Mission. Let's get the battery back together at Fire Mission. Let's get the sub back together at Fire Mission. Let's meet up. And once they've been, they come back. They want to come back. And if they don't come back, it's due to open heart surgery, your wife having a stroke. Was it last year when the guy's wife's had a stroke? We sent her flowers, a death in the family. And they always turn around and go, I'm so sorry, guys. And it's like, no, you're doing the right thing. Your ticket's valid for next year if we can. But we need people to put their trust in us, and we won't let you down. We will not let you down. You will leave having the best time ever.
The only other sticking block we get people to come is we get people moaning that they can't bring their wives or girlfriends, and we took the decision straight from the beginning to make this a gunners reunion. So male or female, if you wore the cap badge, you can attend. Yeah, if you're married to your gunner, that's great. She can come. And we did do another sort of poll last year to see, because there was a sort of, should we widen it, get more people through the gates? And it came back with a unanimous no, saying this is ours. And a lot of the wives you'll find will push the guys away for the weekend because it does rejuvenate them. It does put them in a different mindset, and they want peace. So, my wife can't get me at the door quick enough. Where you go? I come for 2 weeks.
I use the 2 mini missions. So the mini mission that's coming up here this weekend, and the one we had at the tail end of the year, I bring my sons and my grandsons. So they're getting a chance to get a feel for what it's like, but they don't come to the main mission. Now my sons are saying, my grandson's saying, Papa, Dad, when's the next one? When's the next one? I said, well, we've got a camping trip, right? Can we go? Are we allowed to go again? Of course you are, because it's not the main event. But they just want to come and be, and we use them events if you want to bring your family. Not to stop you bringing them, because it's not the main event. But the main event is gather only. But there's 2 wee spin-off events, one before to prep, and one after to put everything away. No, before we winterise everything.
I mean, talking of spin-offs, have you thought of like having another one, like another weekend where it is more family orientated, or is that just too big an ask?
Too big a financial commitment for us.
Right.
It's even this weekend we're having to put toilets on this weekend. We've got
so many
toilets.
guys coming. Yeah, I mean, another avenue we did look at, Frankie, to try and grow the event is going down the charity route, and and finding a charitable purpose. But again, it's the costs involved and the time involved, because we tried once before and we didn't have a charitable purpose. Running a battery smoker and a piss up in the field's not a charitable purpose. So we looked at sort of...
It is.
Well, to us it is. But not to the charity committee.
I wanted new tits, but that didn't...
we didn't get them.
Didn't get
talking to like the landowner, just saying, well, could we run weekends here with a bit of horse riding, a bit of sheep shearing, beekeeping, tending to the orchard, and you could bring families to it. So I looked at that, but again, I think it's going to be cost prohibitive. We were probably looking at, I reckon, somewhere in the region of about £4,000 a weekend to run it. Yeah. When I done all my costings and that, so we're looking at 16 grand a year to raise charity wise before we even raise the 11 grand we need to run the event, pay for our insurances, pay for our storage, and all this sort of stuff that goes, the paraphernalia that goes with it. So, we'd be 25 grand in a year as a charity that, we'd have to find that from somewhere, not just tickets, but corporate sponsors, So I think the best course for us just now, until we find our feet and we decide, is just to stay as a charity fundraiser. And I spoke this through with the Charity Commission, and they're like, as long as you can prove each year you're given to charity worthy causes, and it's shown in your accounts, then that's fine. That's fine, And Mark looks after the bank account, so we managed to get the threshold of the bank account raised so we could keep more money in our account as a charity fundraiser event. So there is... We obviously want to grow it and change, maybe not change direction. We have to keep enhancing it. We want to keep enhancing it. We don't want to go stale and people stop coming because it's the same thing year in, year out. So Andy would be happy with that. Andy's just happy to come up, take all his clothes off and wander about for the weekend. We want...
I've just had the wood delivered. I've had the wood delivered. I've had the scaffolding delivered.
No,
Today it's just come in for the pyramid stage.
The pyramids.
So I'm headlining. On it.
The naked chef or the naked DJ.
Fucking hell.
Well, naked DJ's banned. He's banned for life. Yeah. He's got a
So I need to bring red hot pokers for my eyes. Is that what you're saying?
No, we supply them.
In your ass.
We supply them. They're actually part of the merchandise. So.
I mean, can we throw a question back at you, Frankie? What are you looking most forward to coming to Fire Mission for the first time? What do you think it will bring for you?
Right, okay. It's a two-sided answer. Right. One, I wanted to go last year, right? But I had a fucking breakdown at the time, and things weren't going well for me. I ended up in therapy.
Well done,
right.
Well done, mate. Well done for
Well
coming
done,
out.
buddy.
Yeah. So
no,
you stepped up to the mark there. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I knew something was wrong, and I'll give its dues. Our courage for me worked. I'm quite lucky that I live in an area in Northumberland where it's the most populated area in Northumberland, but there's still not a fucking lot of people here. There's not hundreds of thousands. So I got seen very quickly, and they were great. And a shout out to East Durham Veterans Trust in Seaham. They fucking sorted me right out, actually. My intention was to use Fire Mission as a fucking recruiting exercise to get people to do the podcast with us and stuff like that. But that's just one side of it.
You better bring me in memory for your fucking because once you start talking to you, they won't fucking stop. I'm telling you.
Fucking hell, I've even been out and bought a little camper van so I can lock people in it and say, talk to me. But no, I mean, it's the more and more I think about it, the more I'm, I've seen you. I've been on the page for years, and I just fucking haven't bothered because, as much as you jock guys are telling you, I'm fucking tight as fuck. I don't like spending money, and I have,
Speak to
I've bought
Mark.
my ticket this year. No. I've already bought my ticket this year, and I'm planning on how much fucking diesel I'm going to use in this fucking van. I've wanted to come for ages, and I think
red or
it'll
white.
do me the world of good. Red. I think it'll do me the world of good. As in, not only my mental health, but there's going to be people I haven't seen there for years, and whether they want to see me or not, I don't know.
I'm going to make a wee bet with you here, Frankie. Right, I'm going to make a wee bet with you. Right, if you can come to fire mission without shedding a tear, right? So as soon as you walk in that gate, if you don't shed a tear when you walk in that gate, right? I'll buy you a pint. If you do shed a tear when you walk in that gate, you buy us 4 a pint.
There's no bar.
Another thing, right? You got to bring some money for the raffle because I've got a unique gift here. I mean, this is only a radio podcast, isn't it?
No, video as well.
Video, I can't show it then. Sorry, can't show it.
No, don't, because one of them I want.
Seriously, it is. Yeah, one of 1,000.
Yeah, let's keep that as a surprise.
Trust me, it will be.
I mean, right, here's a question for you then. Rules. Right, so if anyone's listening, anyone's watching, we've got to mention rules. There's got to be some fast rules.
That's right. When they come on before the site opens, there is a safety brief. There is a safety brief, and there is a written set of rules, or there's a. Right, let's not call them rules. There is a
guidelines.
Yeah, to be followed. Right, and we just ask people to abide by what we're asking them to abide by and help us there. So this year, before they're actually printed, somebody will spell check it this year and do the grammar for it when we're in there. And it's mainly
what it means is somebody will not write it in Jockinese, right?
Right. So, and it's mainly safety. The safety point of it. We spoke about the fire pits. Fire and canvas don't mix. And so that's the main thing. So when everybody's in the bar and they're all enjoying themselves, there will be a team member on fire picket. Right, there is a fire watch going run the sites that checks all the fires. We will be in your admin area, checking to make sure your fire extinguishers are where they should be at hand. We will be checking your bins to ensure that you're not contaminating your bins, that the glasses get in the glass bin, the cans are getting in the can bin, and they'll be getting picked up and emptied each day. And that's effectively just don't abuse it. And we've never had the cause to go to anybody and say you're abusing. We haven't. The whole time we've been here, everyone's been respectful, and they've all helped, and that makes a massive difference. Now, after fire mission 23, there was another event held after fire mission on the same field. How they left that field was shocking. Now, probably one of the last people off that field after fire mission. I challenge you to find a piece of rubbish that we've left. The field gets walked, as in the old days, where line up, walk forward, picking up fag butts, and very rarely you'll get the chance to fill even a carrier bag. It was left, everything is picked up. Right? And then we try and listen to the glass again. We try not to encourage glass bottles into the main marquee.
No, they can't.
And that's only case.
It's on their licence.
we
You can't have no glass in the marquee.
no,
So-
so that's why we've all got plastic cups and tumblers, etc. So if you want to decant your spirits into a plastic receptacle and then bring the plastic receptacle into the tent, no problem. And that's only because we don't want broken glass on the field.
Or throwing at the bands.
Yeah.
Like the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Throwing at Tom for picking the wrong band.
I don't think beer or bottles getting thrown them at them is the main worry. It's actually walking and seeing people walking past in different states of dress, just walking past them if they're trying to sing.
I think the first year when we had like that Beatles type band playing, and when Peppa Pig and Olaf walked onto the dance floor and started fighting, I think they nearly stopped playing, didn't they? They were like, "What the fuck is going on here?" You know what I mean? But
I think one thing we have to remember is, and Andy's touched on it, the safety of the group is paramount. But we are not scared to call the police if you get out of hand. If it gets out of hand, the police will be called and you will be asked to leave the site. We don't press charges, but we turn around and say, you need to leave the site. You're not ruining it for everyone. We had that at the first fire mission.
we did.
A bloke turned up, decided to get a bit chopsy, drink his own drink, then started to throw punches. You know, police come. He was escorted off site. He come back the next morning really sheepish and he was sorry, but no, mate, you're gone. So safety, drugs, no. It's something we won't allow. We smell it, we see it. We will ask you politely to leave because you're not ruining it for everyone. And that's one of the main things. Safety first. Arrive safe, leave safe, and leave healthy.
Well, also, yeah, this year as well, we've got a bit of support. We've got trained paramedics on site. We've got our own first aid, and this year we have got effectively one down from a doctor who's coming as well. So he's like,
Might fucking need him.
You know what? We had we got probably it's England's version of the Wind Talkers. We got Wurzel.
yeah,
Lovely lad. He's the Sparky, but honest, you need a Wind Talker to talk to him. He is such
Brilliant.
And we had a young lady before we started fire mission, and he accidentally pushed her, and she smacked her face on a speaker, split her face open. I spent the evening in the local hospital, which was predominantly a Muslim area, so a drunken woman with this, and then the nurse comes up and goes, "Can I have a word with her?" And she went away, and she went, "Is your husband hitting you?" And she went, "I've just met him tonight." And she went, "And he's hitting you?" And she went, No. So we've got all these photos of me in the hospital and everyone looking at us going, "Drinking's bad for you." And she's like, "It's not. I can't feel a thing. I can't feel a thing." But we look after you. You are guaranteed. There's always someone who's admins that's sober. There's always one of us with duty vehicle. We will make sure you're safe. And that's all down to the rules that Andy sets out the site. Davey will give his chat. You know, Tom will do the same mini briefings. And we just want you guys to walk away from fire mission going, those guys are absolutely fucking crackers, but they put on a good show for us, and I want to come back. And I guarantee, Frankie, you'll come back and you'll be having therapy off the naked chef, one-on-one, and that's where he sits with his kilt on, nothing on, and he just rubs his legs and, you know, braces on, and you'll be like, "I like him. He's all right. I feel safe."
he uses straws now as well. He's got a thing he does with straws.
I don't think I
Do you
want
put underpants on your head and 2 straws up your nose and go wibble?
It's getting scary.
Yeah.
Right, lads, we've been on 1 hour and 20 now. I think I don't want to take up too much of your time, really. What's the future plans? If you could have a golden ticket, an ideal thing that you want to do in the future, what would it be?
I know what Mark.
Either
I
one.
know what Mark says. Mark would like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
No, I've gone off her. No, seriously, since she done that Nazi salute, I've gone off her. Okay, I want Bewitched.
Oh, Bewitched.
They
But
might be under our budget soon anyway, so you never know your luck.
But do you know what? Do you know what would be an ideal goal is one day to turn around and say to the lads, "This fire mission's free."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly
You
what
just
I was going to
rock that.
say.
It's fine.
Exactly what I was going to say.
That's what we want. So, you
Yeah.
know, if there's any donors out there that want to turn around and think, you know, there's a good tax write-off here. Davey used to be the financial accountant for the SNP, so he got rid of 600,000. So we know we can get rid of 20,000. It would be nice to turn around and go, Fire Mission 20, 27, 28, it's free. Guys, just rock up. It's free. That would be ideal for me.
With a
I've got
caveat,
spare
with a caveat, it would only be free to somebody who's been to Fire Mission before, not newbies.
Yeah.
Right, you're not jumping on the bandwagon. Right, you have to have come before.
I can get
Yeah.
some. I can get some spare containers, and we can set up a car wash. So,
Naked car wash. Yes.
No.
Oh, you can see you on the bonnet with a sponge in your kill.
yeah, we could launder some money like that. And I've also got a vape shop and a suntan lotion.
Some little steps so I can actually get on the bonnet. I mean,
Hey,
Little
don't
30
mention
hours.
bonnets around Andy. They're costing money.
yeah. Oh no.
That's a little joke.
I was
between us,
there,
Frankie.
man. I was there. I was like, oh shit.
It's a little joke between us, Frankie. Andy knows what we're on about.
Yeah, I don't think I want to delve into that one.
Oh, I bet you wish you were back in the forces, don't you, Andy, when that happened? You could have been able to get one within an hour.
In Andy's defence, it wasn't 100% his fault.
Fucking
It's part of the Land Rover under where he was using the high up. Well, yeah.
Oh, mate. No, I blame the person that put it up there, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, that's
anyway,
another
Frankie,
story.
the event, 27th to the 30th of June. It's a place called The Bunker on Spring Lane near Sprockborough. So it's DN5 7QW. Like I say, Mark deals with tickets. There's links. We've got a website, and it's fire-mission.net. And the ticket link's on there as well. And also, we're looking for gunners to join the Facebook page. We obviously check every person that comes on to make sure that we're a gunner. So some questions on there. But we're trying to grow, as it were, our fan base and make the event bigger. Personally, like the boys said, we all set out the original and said within so many years we'd love to make it a free one. But I would like to see it grow to around the 300 to 400 size. That'd just be a nice size. So where we're at just now is good, but just slightly bigger so we fill the whole field would be fantastic, you know. And it's a great event. You'll enjoy it when you come, and you'll be open arms into every harbour area with a pint, no doubt. Bring your microphone round. I'm sure plenty of lads will chat to you.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Have you got?
Oh, definitely.
Have you got a T-shirt that says "Look North" on it?
Right, I want to fucking get one, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you turn and you're for the media, then you'll be sorted. Remember,
I'll come with the K80 mask.
Davy's got a hat saying "Make Fire Mission Great Again." So
Because I love that man.
Yeah. Let's not go on to that one, eh?
No.
Right. I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming on.
No, thank you.
You know,
Thanks
it's
for
been
having
great.
us.
I've enjoyed it. It's been very informative, and I hope that people who are listening to this, it might encourage them to attend. You know, and like you said, anyone who wants to go and be a bit financially embarrassed, get in touch with the guys. You know, they're there to help, and they'll do what they can. But I'm going this year just because I really, really want to in the end. You know, that's it. And seeing it on Facebook and the comments on there, you can already get there's like a family brotherhood within that community, within the Fire Mission Facebook group and stuff like that. Everyone talks to each other. There's banter, you know, and it shows a glimpse of what the weekend's going to be. You know, so I hope that people listening to this, it encourages them and they do attend. You know.
yeah, we love times.
Arrive a stranger, leave a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how we look at it.
Yeah, stranger danger.
Seriously.
Thank you. Cut us off so we don't have to listen to him anymore, will you?
Yeah.
Right, so I will end it there. I'll stop the recording.